Bubonic plague, cholera, mad cow disease. Today, we're diving into a critical yet fascinating topic, the world's deadliest diseases. We'll explore symptoms, impact, and key facts about each of these devastating illnesses. Let's get started. Bubonic plague. The bubonic plague is a really deadly infectious disease caused by a bacteria called Yersinia pestis. It's been around for centuries and has come back a few times, taking out between 10 and millions of people worldwide. The worst outbreak was in the 14th century and it's called the Black Death. That one killed more than 25 million people, a third of the population of Europe. It was so bad that they had to quarantine people to stop it spreading. Lung infections, vomiting of blood, and scattered black spots can also be experienced. Plague kills 30 to 90% of those infected without treatment within 10 days of bite exposure. But with intensive antibiotic treatment, the risk drops to 10%. The best way to prevent the spreading of bubonic plague is to avoid handling live or dead animals and use insect repellents containing DEET, among other precautions. Symptoms are sudden fever, headache, chills, weakness, swollen, painful lymph nodes or buboes, lung infections, vomiting of blood, scattered black spots. Influenza. Influenza or flu is a contagious respiratory disease caused by variants of influenza viruses. For more than a century, there have been 6 major influenza epidemics. But the 1918 to 1920 flu pandemic, popularly known as the Great Influenza Epidemic or the Spanish flu, was the most severe, caused by the H1N1 virus with genes from avian origin. The disease killed about 50 million people, mostly young adults, and infected another 500 million amid World War I. In 2009, a relatively mild flu outbreak killed approximately 300,000 people. Humans are host to several types of influenza viruses, but pandemics occur only when a new strain is transmitted to humans by other animals, such as pigs, ducks, or chickens. Symptoms of the flu range from mild to severe and usually include fever, runny nose, sore throat, body ache, headache, coughing, watery red eyes, tiredness. Currently, influenza isn't preventable by vaccines, so most controlling efforts are non-pharmaceutical, limited to isolation, quarantine, good personal hygiene, disinfectants, and limiting public gatherings. Smallpox. Smallpox, a contagious viral infection caused by the variola virus, has been one of the most widespread causes of human death for centuries. Variola major and variola minor were the 2 types of smallpox virus, with variola major being the severe form. The disease was more common in children, but the risk seemed higher for those who came in contact with an infected person or contaminated objects. People who had smallpox usually had the following symptoms: fever, vomiting, skin rashes, fluid-filled bumps. While the first mention of smallpox dates back to the reign of the great Egyptian pharaoh Ramses in 1156 BC, the outbreak in 18th century Europe was the deadliest, killing 30% of those infected, mostly babies. Those who survived had extensive body scars, and about a third were left blind. In the 20th century alone, the disease killed around 300 million people. Smallpox was last naturally endemic in 1977. Since then, the success of vaccination has eradicated disease globally. Cholera. Cholera is an acute intestinal infection caused by the bacterium Vibrio cholera. The illness is marked by profuse cramping, vomiting, and watery diarrhea, leading to rapid dehydration. If left untreated, the symptoms turn so severe that patients usually die within hours. Cholera spreads through contaminated food and water, often causing small outbreaks. However, these outbreaks quickly become a crisis if sanitation systems are disrupted. In the 21st century, the illness continues to affect approximately 2.9 million people per year, resulting in 95,000 deaths worldwide, mostly in low and middle-income countries due to poverty. The African continent in particular has been hit hard, with 40 million people living in cholera endemic areas at risk of frequent outbreaks. At the same time, more developed countries such as North America and Europe have had virtually no cholera for a century due to improved sanitation infrastructure and advances in personal hygiene. HIV or AIDS. HIV, or human immunodeficiency virus, which causes acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, or AIDS, remains one of the fatal diseases of the 21st century, killing tens of millions since 1981. There are currently 38.4 million people living with HIV/AIDS worldwide, of which over 7 million come from sub-Saharan Africa. For decades, the illness had no cure. But with awareness and the advent of antiretroviral treatment, the disease has become more manageable, with global HIV death rates dropping from 2.2 million to 1.6 million between 2005 and 2012. HIV can be transmitted through unprotected sexual contact, intravenous drug use, infected blood transfusion, shared use of injectors, from mother-to-child transmission during pregnancy, childbirth, and breastfeeding. The virus destroys a type of white blood cell essential to a functioning immune system. But as the virus gradually weakens the immunity, it causes symptoms, making it harder for your body to resist infections and other diseases. Ebola. Ebola is a rare and fatal disease caused by the Ebola filovirus. There are 5 types of Ebola virus, 4 of which are known to cause human disease. The bat is suspected to be the natural reservoir of the virus. Humans contract the disease through direct contact with vomit, infected body fluids, or contaminated objects such as needles and syringes. Symptoms usually begin between 2 and 21 days after infection and include fever, sore throat, severe headaches, diarrhea, vomiting, muscle pain and weakness, decreased liver and kidney function, bleeding and bruising, both internally and externally. Several small outbreaks of Ebola have occurred in Africa since its discovery in 1976, but the incident between 2013 and 2016 was the deadliest. The episode began in Guinea and progressed to Sierra Leone and Liberia. Roughly 28,600 people got infected and 11,325 died before the virus was contained and declared in 2016. Coronavirus. Initially reported in Wuhan in late 2019, the coronavirus illness is caused by the novel SARS-CoV-2 virus. The disease quickly spread like wildfire, resulting in a pandemic. As of mere 2022, approximately 6.5 million people had died from the COVID-19 pandemic. People contract COVID-19 when they inhale virus-containing droplets or aerosols and tiny airborne particles expelled by infected people while coughing, sneezing, or speaking. Symptoms typically appear 2 to 14 days after virus exposure, with most people tending to have mild to moderate symptoms such as fever, loss of smell, and tiredness. However, severe symptoms may be seen in those with other health problems such as diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, etc. There is no standard cure for COVID-19, but there are many ways to manage it, including oxygen support, antivirals, and, most importantly, vaccines. Mad cow disease. Mad cow disease is a rare, fatal brain disorder. It causes a rapid, progressive dementia, deterioration of mental functions, as well as associated neuromuscular disturbances. Most scientists think that MCD is caused by a protein called a prion. For reasons that are not completely understood, the normal prion protein changes into an abnormal prion protein that is harmful. The body of a sick cow does not even know the abnormal prion is there. Without knowing it is there, the cow's body cannot fight off the disease. A common sign of BSE in cows is incoordination. A sick cow has trouble walking and getting up. A sick cow may also act very nervous or violent, which is why BSE is often called mad cow disease. It usually takes 4 to 6 years from the time a cow is infected with the abnormal prion to when it first shows symptoms of BSE. This is called the incubation period. During the incubation period, there is no way to tell that a cow has BSE by looking at it. Once a cow starts to show symptoms, it gets sicker and sicker until it dies, usually within 2 weeks to 6 months. There is no treatment for BSE and no vaccine to prevent it. People can get a version of BSE called variant Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, VCJD. As of 2019, 232 people worldwide are known to have become sick with VCJD, and unfortunately, they all have died. It is thought that they got the disease from eating food made from cows sick with BSE. Most of the people who have become sick with VCJD lived in the United Kingdom at some point in their lives. Only 4 lived in the US, and most likely these 4 people became infected when they were living or traveling overseas. Thanks for watching. Click that like and subscribe button. It will help our channel to grow. Let me know in the comments whatever you want and what topic you want me to cover. See you in the next one. Bye.